I have clearly seen that some people stabilize in a way that I've never seen in any other trials.
This is Dr. Winbank of the Mayo Clinic, with over 40 years of experience treating people with ALS, speaking about effective NUROWN to a corrupt FDA that refused to listen.
In September 19, the FDA issued new guidance on developing drugs for ALS, which touted regulatory flexibility when applying the standard of safety and efficacy to drugs for diseases with serious unmet medical needs. FDA guidance has been an empty promise.
Useful, okay, but you don't have to know anything, you don't have to have any biomarkers, nothing. Okay, if it helps you function and you prove it, we'll prove it.
Individuals diagnosed with ALS and their loved ones rely on their elected officials to advocate on their behalf.
Right now, we have this need for access, and if you're the parent of a child who has a rare genetic disease that's going to kill them in the first years of life, you want the technology now, not years from now.
I actually like the quote that I'm a fan of accelerated approval. You know, Michelle, that my mom got a few extra years with her multiple myeloma because of a drug that was studied through accelerated approval and made available very early in its life cycle. And I think that's a great thing, and we need to continue that.
We have tremendous flexibility that Congress has granted us with use of our accelerated approval program. We do have a tremendous amount of flexibility here, so very happy to continue to work with you on that.
ALS, as Senator Coons has noted, is an awful, awful disease. Some would suggest, and I certainly would, that it is probably the worst disease to be afflicted with, when your body literally closes in on you while your mind is still active and vibrant.
I have clearly seen that some people stabilize in a way that I've never seen in any other trials.
My name is Bobby Forster. I'm 26 years old and living with ALS. I'm here in Rome on my honeymoon with my beautiful wife, Casey.
Hello. My name is Bobby Forster and I have been living with ALS for 5 years. I am done being nice. I will not stand by while my friends are dying. I am really tired of ALS. I am sick and tired of seeing my friends die from this disease, when I know that a treatment exists that can reverse my symptoms. In the fall of 2015, I participated in the Phase 2 clinical trial for Brainstorm's NUROWN. After 2 weeks of treatment, I went from barely able to stand for more than 10 seconds, to being able to walk with a walker, to being able to walk unassisted. I also saw significant improvements in my forced vital capacity and speech. After the treatment wore off, I remember all I could think about was if it worked for anyone else and what if I continued taking it. I got the first answer when the trial was over, and the answer was yes.
Bobby deteriorated and died despite his others' unprecedented benefits after one dose of NUROWN in 2015. Bobby fought hard for NUROWN's accelerated approval in 2016, even starting a petition that got 169,000 signatures. FDA's cruel regulatory rigidity has left Bobby, and all with ALS, to die without safe and effective NUROWN.
I have clearly seen that some people stabilize in a way that I've never seen in any other trials.
In part due to this video, ALS activist Matt Bellina, who's getting the same treatment as Thurman. That's him rising from his wheelchair, he says, for the first time in 2 years. And months later, this, taking steps.
I mowed the lawn after the first injection. Second injection, I went on a family vacation, went down 100 stairs, back up 100 stairs.
Where he couldn't do that before.
This is 3 years after diagnosis, where I'm projected to be dead already. 3 to 5 years.
The time I started in June until I got my first injection, my disease did progress, right? Like I did get to a place where where I lost strength in my legs. I lost some core strength. Not much, but things that I could notice. And but since the time of my first injection, it hasn't progressed at all. It hasn't. I don't have it. I don't have anything. No impact in my upper body, in my arms, in my swallowing, in my speaking, in my breathing. Thankfully, I'm very grateful for that.
That's incredible.
And especially because I've talked to other people who have been in the trial and who were in it earlier in the process than I was,
right? And
who experienced this same pause in the progression of the disease. I know how important it is to be able to continue to get the treatment, right? Because I'm happy now that I seem to have plateaued, but I know that's not going to last forever. And now I don't have access to NUROWN anymore. I'm finished with my participation in the trial. When I think about the progress of my disease in the first 10 months before I had that injection, it was on a pretty steady decline.
Right.
And it stopped. And I miss the independence and the mobility of my former self. But if NUROWN keeps me here for the rest of my life, and I have a long life, that's a miracle, right? Well, it's science. It's not a miracle, but for me, that's not nothing, right? That's huge.
My name is Philip Green, a 53-year-old husband and father of 4 who was diagnosed with ALS in August of 2018. I participated in the phase 3 NUROWN trial in 2019. And in January of 2021, I was selected for the NUROWN EAP. After treatment in March, I was able to do certain things with my hands that I had lost the ability to do. I could once again pick up my phone and the TV remote and use them without dropping them. I was now able to grab my pillbox, open it, dump the pills onto the countertop, pick up each pill with my fingers, and place them in my mouth. These small gains wouldn't show up on the ALS FRSR, but they gave me back some independence I had lost. In June, I began to gain strength in my legs. I was now able to stand in my pool, where before the AAP, I couldn't even lock out my legs. I could now do squats in my pool and even walk along the edge of my pool. I can also now buckle and unbuckle my seatbelt on my own. Again, these changes were meaningful to me, but would not be reflected in the ALS FRSR. I received additional NUROWN treatments in 2022 after receiving a treatment in March. My FEC went up 11 points to 45% predicted. My speech was no longer impacted by shortness of breath, and my breathing has remained strong. And my FEC earlier this month was 37% at clinic. I'm here to tell you that NUROWN works. I know it worked for me. It has helped me maintain an active and productive quality of life. I strongly urge you to consider the totality of evidence and recommend approval so the person diagnosed with ALS today or tomorrow can retain as much function and independence for as long as possible. Thank you.
I have clearly seen that some people stabilize in a way that I've never seen in any other trials.